I've been sitting here for roughly 2 hours now, kind of just staring at the ceiling and wondering if I should even make this video. On the one hand, I think it's a very important discussion to have, and I do believe, at least in my heart of hearts, that behavior needs to recognize the issue I'm about to talk about and fix it before it's too late. But on the other hand, I am well aware of what comes with making discussion content on the internet by this point. I like to talk about my opinions. As you can tell, I upload a lot of videos doing it. And I like to talk about my opinions because 99.9% of the time, I like to hear the opinions of other people. I think that healthy disagreements over certain things in this world are perfect, and especially when it comes to things like video games, I think that it is always great to talk about what we feel is the bigger problems and what we feel can be used to improve the games we love. I do hold that there are some things that are just not up for discussion. Not everything has to be a debate, like, for example, human rights. And there are some times when somebody says something that I just know that talking to them is a complete waste of my time because, well, I've been doing this for longer than some of you watching this video have been alive. The point is that I want to make this video, but what I am worried about is that I will garner a massive headache because I know that no matter how clear I talk, no matter how precise I am, someone somewhere is going to completely take my words out of context, misrepresent me, and say stupid shit. And I just don't know if I have the mental capacity to deal with that at the moment. But then again, by the time you're seeing this video, it'll be roughly a week out, and so yeah, fuck it. So I believe that there is a gigantic problem that behavior needs to look at, that if they don't, it will kill Dead by Daylight. And I know that that's a wild thing to say, but understand when I'm saying that I'm not trying to be the kind of person that's like, oh, I don't like the game anymore, therefore the game going to die, because I hate those kind of people. Just because you don't play a game, just because you've fallen out of love with the game, doesn't make the game dead. And I also am not wishing for the downfall of Dead by Daylight. I love Dead by Daylight. There's a part of me that's always going to love the game that gifted me the career that I currently have, but I can see a writing on the wall, and I don't know if anyone else can say it. And I'm going to be called a doomsayer, and I'm going to be called stupid, and I understand that, but at least watch the entirety of this video before you call me this. Where are we heading with this game? I ask you that because at this current moment in time, every single patch brings with it massive game-breaking bugs. We get maps that completely don't load whatsoever, we get server issues, we get killers that become broken and they are either unplayable or the bug is so powerful you can't do anything against it. We get survivor items that crash the game, we get survivors being untouchable, we get survivors being unhookable. Every single patch that comes to this game breaks not one thing, not two things, not 10 things, but 25 plus things every single time. And I'm starting to wonder how much longer this game can last, because from what I can tell, it's built upon a tangle of shoelaces and Lincoln Logs. You touch one thing in this game and it immediately shatters the foundation of 17 other things without even, like, without fail. This isn't hyperbole, this isn't an exaggeration for comedic effect, this is literally what happens. Every single patch this game breaks in half, and we have to deal with it for multiple weeks while their team tries to figure out what the hell happened. And it is because, at the end of this day, this game is very poorly coded. We are still working off of the coding of a very small indie team that really and honestly did not know their game was going to take off the way it did. They had absolutely no clue this game was going to become the monstrosity that it is. The titan of titans within the horror ASIM genre. Nobody back then knew what this game had to offer, and so as far as the dev team was concerned, they were just making a fun little game for people to enjoy for a month and then put down. Another thing that starts to bother me, and it's something that one of my Discord members brought up, they were making a suggestion where they need to start working on DBD2, and we'll get to that in a minute, and then cap the amount of killers and survivors out at 50 apiece, which is not a good idea. You can't do that. You can't cap the number of new content you bring to the game. That's just not going to work. The game needs new content. All games need new content, but they had sort of a point. Every single chapter, full chapter that comes, brings at least 2 new characters and 6 new perks to the game. It is getting to the point where there are so many characters and so many perks that even longtime players of the game or people who are experts in the game forget things that exist, or forget what some things do, or something like that. After 2,300 hours in this game, most of that spent trying to be the best at this game that I could possibly be, learning the ins and outs of everything, I still outright forget what some shit does. I learned the other day that Dredge has a add-on that allows you to see the aura of a survivor who just locked a locker. I had no idea that was there. I legitimately had no idea. And you can't blame me, because at this point there are over 240 add-ons in this game. Now, I've stated in the past before that knowledge checks are good, and I like knowledge checks, and I think that complications within a game are also very good. I like learning new things, I like learning new stuff, but the problem is that let's say we do get to 50 apiece, right? 50 killers is over 1,000 add-ons to remember. That's over, honestly, let's say each killer gets only 1 power, which nowadays killers are released with 2 to 3 powers, but let's say they all only get like 1 power, that's still going to be like 75 plus powers. Like, there's tons of killers that have multiple powers, not just 2, but 3, even 4 in some cases, right? Every single killer is played against in a completely different way, which causes general frustrations and aggravations. And let's not forget the massive amount of perks that come to this game. At what point is too much going to be too much? At what point is behavior going to add so much to this game that it will become impossible, impenetrable for new players to get into? We have tried to solve several of these problems in the past with things like how the game should not only be free, but also come with, you know, more base killers and more base survivors. There's been a lot of talks for people about reworking the tutorial system, but it's kind of like getting into a card game. Do you know why most TCGs have a rotating format? It's to stop this shit. So I've compared DBD to TCGs in the past, a lot actually, because I feel like it's the most apt comparison. But basically every TCG on the planet outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think Pokemon, don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I played Pokemon, but every TCG on the planet rotates sets. They have a rotating format, basically meaning that you can't come into the game and play with all the old stuff and the new stuff. You have to only play with the new stuff within a certain time period. And the reason for that is because if you allow players to just play with every card from the beginning of the game's release, it gets really complicated and really hard to teach new people how to play, because everything becomes an impossible knowledge check. How far away are we from DBD hitting that point? So between the fact that every new update brings with it a treasure trove of game-breaking bugs and minor bugs and just bugs that really don't make any sense, and the fact that every single chapter is starting to bring with it more and more complications, how long is it before this game becomes unplayable to all but the people who have put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into the game? How long before the prospect of even trying to penetrate the sphere that is the complication of DBD too much? But more importantly, how long will it be before an update releases that fully breaks this game? How long is it going to be before there is too much weighing on a weak foundation before the game becomes unsalvageable and unplayable? I'm genuinely worried for the future of this game, not because I think that the balance is bad or because I think that the devs are incompetent or anything like that, but because the sheer inevitability of what is happening to the game with every update is going to become too much at some point. How many years do we have left? 2, 3, 4, 10? What will happen if the behavior does not stop and look at the real problem here? What will happen if behavior does not recognize how this game breaks all the time and how there's just simply too much information at hand? What can be done? Well, for the bug fixes, it's simple. Build another game. It sucks to think about. It's hard to think about, and there's probably going to be a lot of issues where it comes to licensing. But yeah, build another game. I know we've memed the fuck out of Overwatch 2 to death, but hey, sometimes you have to build a new foundation. Sometimes you have to catch up with the rest of the world. And I honestly believe that DBD was behind the times in terms of technology when the game got fucking released. So yeah, it's time for that. But as far as the information overload, I honestly don't know. I have no idea how you can combat that. I like I said, there's a lot of suggestions, but eventually it's going to get to too much. DBD will eventually die, and I don't think that there's any way that we as a community or behavior as a dev team can stop it. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you actually listened to what I had to say. I'm not saying I want DBD to die. I'm not trying to be a doomsayer. I'm just saying that it is inevitable. And yeah, as always, I love you guys so much. Sorry. As always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Need more Kaiser in your life? Well, I've got you covered. Check out my second channel, DeKaiser Extras, where I upload full gameplays, stream compilations, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also upload a daily short with all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.